bit of music. Something will be turned on.
A little behind schedule here, huh? A little bit. What happened to the...
You see the Warriors in the tunnel getting pumped up. Charlie Wade standing by with his assistant coaches, and kind of it's one of those moments, Chris. It's kind of the Warrior football team at Aloha Stadium waiting to come out of the tunnel, building a little drama. You may have heard Charlie Wade picked up on our field mic saying a little behind schedule, all good.
Well, you know, one of the things that Hawaii has a huge disadvantage is that he's saying hi to Governor Abercrombie, but a huge disadvantage with being unable to play fall matches on the mainland. And he also did not have a match like San Diego played against Brandon on Monday, so they've got one match under their belt.
Well, Hawaii will have an opportunity to get things going right now. We're going to send it over to the public address for our starting lineups.
Aloha and good evening, volleyball fans. The University of Hawaii and Warrior Ohana welcome you to Stan Sheriff Center for tonight's MPSF season opener, featuring the UC San Diego Tritons and your 11th ranked Hawaii Warriors. Introducing the UC San Diego starting lineup. At center, a 6'5" sophomore from Poway, California, number 10, Mike Brunsting. And outside hitter, a 6'4" sophomore from Westchester, California, number 12, Vaughn Lennon. At middle blocker, a 6'6" junior from Fullerton, California, number 17, Greg Smith. At middle blocker, a 6'7" sophomore from Chico, California, number 18, Sebastian Brady. And opposite, a 6'6" freshman from Las Vegas, Nevada, number 19, Chris Sandrulis. At libero, a 6-foot freshman from Glen Ellen, Illinois, number 2, Kevin McGinnis. And at outside hitter, a 6'5" junior from Huntington Beach, California, floor captain number 7, Carl Eberts. The assistant coaches are Ryan Mule, Paul Warren, and J.J. Van Neal. Head coach for the Tritons is Kevin Ring. And now, meet and greet the starting lineup for your Hawaii Warriors. And opposite, a 6'6" freshman from Auckland, New Zealand, number 7, Johann Timmer. And middle blocker, a 6'8" sophomore from Orange, California, number 12, Nick West. And middle blocker, a 6'9" senior from Long Beach, California, number 14, Jarrod Lofy. And outside hitter, a 6'6" freshman from Schwerin, Germany, number 15, J.P. Marks. And outside hitter, a 6'5" senior from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, tri-captain number 5, Stephen Hunt. At libero, a 5'8" senior from Honolulu, tri-captain number 1, Nick Costello. And at center, a 6'4" sophomore from Santa Barbara, California, floor captain number 4, Sam Biscaro. The Hawaii staff trainer, Brian Wong, video coordinator, Shelton Tang, assistant coach, Fernand Podleski, volunteer assistant, Maulia Labar, associate coach, Jeff Hall, head coach for your Warriors, Charlie Wade.
Though the holiday decorations have been stowed away, there's one present still left to be unwrapped. The Hawaii men's volleyball team will reveal its new Warrior look as it opens the season and the new year. It's a Mountain Pacific Sports Federation matchup between the Tritons of UC San Diego and the Hawaii Warriors. And welcome back to the Stanley, everybody. Here's your Hawaiian Tel Federal Credit Union starting lineups as we are set to unleash a new season. The Tritons of UC San Diego in blue. Set to serve it up is Mike Brunston. And a good serve and setting it up in the first swing of the year by the visiting player from New Zealand, now calling Hawaii home. Right over the middle, Elvis is in the house. We need to talk about him and his new look. Nick West, who's adding a lot of personality to this lineup. And Hawaii hitting the first point of this match. Howard Deshevsky along with Chris McLaughlin. We watched this team come out. You watched the energy and the excitement. There was some personality.
I'll tell you, if they play as well as they got introduced, they're going to be in the top of the league. That was a great bunch of introductions. That was fun to watch.
Here's J.P. Marks from Germany. He's been here in the islands. He has acclimated himself quite well, thank you, in the left-handed swing. Dug up by Timmer, and then Timmer sends it back over the net. Back set, blocked, and Hunt with the first roof of the season, Stephen Hunt, who's going to play a big role this season.
I did not think that Hunt would earn his first point for the Rainbows this year with a block. This is a huge one, block solo, as San Diego gets a nice one-on-one, but Hunt just too much over the net, great penetration.
So Johann Timmer, the 6'6" opposite from Auckland, New Zealand, trickles it over the tape and puts it down for Hawaii's first ace of the season. Dean Hironaka, Ernie Ho, Wes Kawachi, Ryan Scudder, your officials tonight. And Timmer, who's awaiting a fresh ball. We talked about the difference in the ball, the hitter's ball. It's not going to knuckle as much. It's also not going to have that overspin as we were being explained, you and I, in practice one day, although he put some good top spin on that serve. And that ball misplayed on the part of Brunston.
It's 2 aces in a row for J.P. Marks. He really put some major heat on the ball, and he does get heavy top spin on it. That's why he got that first tape job. The first one, the next one was just sheer heat that he put on it. The passer couldn't control it.
And Charlie Ward telling us that you really got to hit the ball with that spin. The old ball would kind of bite even if you didn't hit it perfectly. This one, you really need to nail it on the spot. Over the middle, off the block. Timmer with the save, back to Hunt. And Hunt is roofed at the net, coming up with a big block. is Sebastian Brady, the middle blocker who goes 6 feet 7 inches tall.
Yeah, Brady's he's really an imposing middle blocker, their best blocker by far. Young man out of Chico, California.
1 serving 4. And there's the man with the sideburns, and he's going to provide some thrills and some personality. That's Nick West.
Have you already nicknamed him Elvis? Is that it?
He's the rock star. I mean, look at the guy. He's got the Elvis sideburns and even the shorts. You know, everybody, men's volleyball has kind of gone to the loose, baggy board shorts. This guy, he's pulled them up, and he looks like he's wearing them a size too small.
Yeah,
you know,
he is funny. He is the character comedian of the team, that's for sure.
That time he hits it out of the ballpark. First service error.
His jump serve is way better than that. When I saw him practice this last week, he really had it going, but it is a risky serve, and he hits it hard. Sometimes it'll just fly on him like it just did, but more often than not, he has a great jump serve.
The sophomore out of Chico, California now. Brady gets it over, setting it, and the back set, and it's the flying New Zealander. Oh, excuse me, that's Marks, JP. Well, the German is an interesting story how Charlie Wade came to find him. He actually went on a recruiting visit to Germany, had 2 prospects to look at. JP was one of them. Didn't get to see him play. He was laid up in the hospital. We'll get back to that story. The serve by Biscaro. The left-handed swing, and once again, it is Hunt, but blocking it out point for the Tritons. But Charlie Wade went to Germany. He went to look at JP Marks. He was laid up in the hospital room, then he flew down to Munich. He was in Berlin, saw another player, and then he had to make a choice. Who do I give the scholarship to? He ended up giving it to Marks, the player.
Took the guy he didn't see.
Exactly. And the other player ended up going to Cal State Northridge. He's going to be one of their leading players, and he's going to be here playing against Hawaii. Nice save in the back row by Von Lennon. And then the ball hit out in point Hawaii.
And give some credit to UC San Diego at the time for their hustle. When I asked Kevin Ring about what he liked about his team, he said on Monday night when they played Brandon, University of Canada, he loved their effort, and here is some tremendous effort right there. They just never give up. They came behind in 2 of the 3 sets they played on Monday night. So he loves his team, as does Charlie love his team.
Yeah, he does. As we mentioned in the outset of this broadcast, yeah, you may have lost Umlauf, who led the nation in kills for the past 2 years, and he decided to forego his 2 years, and of course Skywalker is gone, but a lot of new parts, and it really opens up the offense, and so we're going to see a lot of differential looks and a lot of different people getting into the action.
It'll be less predictable where the ball is going to be set. Let's put it that way. Tough to scout him.
Over the middle, 101, blocked at the net by JP Marks, and the Tritons couldn't play it like Hawaii.
It's a pretty sophisticated play by Marks. That shows how much he's played internationally. He's played a lot of youth national volleyball and junior national volleyball for Germany, and he helped in the middle there. That was a move that most players do not make, at least not as a freshman.
Stephen Hunt, the senior from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, with the jump serve. And again, the left-hand swing dug up by Costello, the libero, with a solid defensive play, and then hitting it into the net is JP Marks. Point Tritons, Hawaii leads 8-4.
Great dig by Nick Costello. He wants to up his average. 1.7 digs per set is not a great number. He wants to up that to closer to 4, I'm sure.
Costello appearing in all 28 matches last year, 102 sets. Cross court, putting it down off the net for the kill, JP Marks.
You know, Marks had 2 blockers up on it. It's pretty obvious where the set was going to go that time. He had 2 blockers up. He did a nice job of just going over the blockers and hitting it deep into the court rather than trying to hammer it down with a lot of heat.
Marks with 2 kills on the match, and now Jarrod Lofy, the senior out of Long Beach, California. Big swing, but out off the block. No, point Hawaii.
San Diego is, I think, is passing the ball pretty darn well, considering the Warriors are really serving the ball tough right now.
Lofy back, 6 feet 9 inches tall, floats this one over a little bit more softly. And the southpaw swing of Chris Androulis. Well, you mentioned that they had a match. They had an opportunity to play a game a couple of nights ago, a 4-set victory over Brandon University of Manitoba, Canada.
And Drulis led the way with 15 kills in his freshman debut in college. Pretty impressive performance.
Yes. Serve floated over by Smith, and that one hit long and out. Point for UC San Diego. So two teams, Chris, that we talked about are very similar. We know that Hawaii lost a lot of its offense, better than 60%, but a very similar situation for the Tritons is they have to replace a couple of record holders in the middle blocker, Calvin Ross, and also in their setter, Phil Branson, have more than almost 4,500 assists for the Tritons. Good play at the net. Another good block, and then trying to put it back down is Brunsting. Little joust in the Tritons, finding an empty spot on the hole on the floor. And that's the third kill. Check that 3-point run for the Tritons. They are back within 3, 10-7 our score. To the far side, off the block and putting it down for the kill. That's J.P. Marks from Schwerin, Germany. Charlie Wade definitely with a little bit of international appeal. And speaking of that, great to see Savon Leone as part of the pregame show.
That was fun. Yeah, good seeing him again. I do want to see him with the headband, though. He's got to bring that next time.
I think we got to have the headband player of the game. He presents it. Trying to get it over softly was Carl Eberts into the net. Point Hawaii. The Warriors up 12-7. Charlie Wade talking about coming out and playing this MPSF match right out of the gun. Usually they go into the Outrigger Invitational. And because this is an MPSF match, only allowed to suit up 14 players, although they have, I think, 21 or 22 on the roster. Next week, they'll be able to bring out the whole troop. And again, the ball hit long. That was Andrulis. So Andrulis a little bit off the mark tonight, and Hawaii now up 13-7, and a timeout taken by UC San Diego. That takes us to our first timeout. You're watching the debut of the UH Men's Warrior Volleyball team on OC Sports. Back at the Stan Sheriff Center, and Chris, let's take a look at the Kaiser Permanente keys to the match.
Well, for San Diego, they've got to take some aging pills. They have no senior starters. They have 12 freshmen on the squad, and they're just very, very young. They've got to mature very quickly. And in a hurry, otherwise they're going to lose a bunch of matches. But I'll tell you, Hawaii's also young. Hawaii's question mark tonight is, where's the O? You know, where are they going to get their offense? They lost 75% of it last year by losing Umlauf and Walker, so they've got to find it somewhere. Who's going to step up? So far, J.P. Marks is playing well, as is Stephen Hunt. Nick West has got a couple kills. Marks has 3 already. So and they're out hitting San Diego right now 231 to -154 for the Tritons. They're playing a little young right now.
Tritons 9-20 last year, 12-17 in the MPSF. Setting it to the far side, just a little touch shot over the net. Opportunity for the Tritons, swinging and hitting into the net is Von Lennon. Point Hawaii. They've now doubled up on the Tritons, 14-7 our score. Hawaii last year 15-13, and Hawaii now on a 4-point run. Hawaii 13-9, 5th place in the MPSF last year. Big jump serve by Timmer. Pass again to the far side, winding up, swinging, dug up nicely back there by McGinnis of UC San Diego, and then into the net is Carl Eberts, and something's just a little bit off on that side of the net. They're going to take another timeout as head coach Kevin Ring, as Hawaii leads at 15-7. Back at the Stan Sheriff Center, and a lot of smiles early here in the first set on the faces of the Warriors as they lead at 15-7. As we take a look at our Aston Hotels and Resorts series record, obviously a little bit lopsided. However, look at the last meeting, Chris.
Yeah, Hawaii won in 4, but you know what happened the night before?
Exactly.
It was the reverse. So Hawaii really respects the San Diego team. Charlie Wade respects Kevin Ring. He knows he's worked with the national team. Did Kevin Ring, and it's a solid program that's on its way up.
Timmer again with the jump serve. to the near side. Not a good set. Nearly misplayed, and then a double hit's going to be called on Sam Biscaro as they kind of got caught between the net on an awkward ball over the net point for the Tritons. And interesting last year, excuse me, the Tritons 9-20. But not only did they beat Hawaii, but they beat Stanford at Stanford and UCLA in Westwood. So they came up with some huge victories. But again, that team was pretty much replaced by a lot of new parts as Timmer kind of fists it over the net. Off the block and putting it down for the kill is Sebastian Brady.
I think Andrulis, the lefty on the outside, is the one that got that last one. They've got an interesting thing. Got 3 opposite players that play opposite the center. All of them are left-handed.
Is that a luxury? Because it's just so
well, it's
unusual.
It's easier to hit on the right side, but mostly on the right side of the court. So the ball's coming, your hand is near to the ball. It's easier to attack. So you'll see most of the good opposites in the world, the really, really good ones, are left-handed.
J.P. Marks. Another good serve. Good pass. Set up to the near side. Off the block. And that's a kill for Andrulis. And Andrulis is starting to get into the act a little bit. That's his 3rd kill of the night.
Nick West taking one in the noggin. Watch this right off. Watch Nick West in the middle. Pops right off his head. If only gone more straight up.
Hunt. Hunt almost straight down, putting it down in front of Brunsting. And we saw him do that in practice, and a couple times he almost hit it 90 degrees.
I'll tell you what made that play was Nick Costello passing the ball all the way up to the net. Perfect pass so Biscaro could get the middle coming hard, and their middle bit on it a little bit and left Stephen Hunt all alone on the outside.
Hawaii now up 17-10. West with the serve. Not a good swing, but a good result. As Nick West unable to come up with that one.
Nick West made a stab at it. They turned around to the linesman and said that ball was out.
Nick West. It's going to be fun to watch him this year. And we talk about personality, and I talked to Coach Charlie Wade about the personality of the team and what do you want to see. And he says, you know, you just got to let them come out as they come out. We don't want to overdo it. We don't want to be sophomoric. We want to celebrate the moments, but we want to remain focused and finding that balance. Good cross-court swing that time as Johann Timmer puts it down for the winner, his 2nd kill of the night.
It's interesting, Timmer did not even play with the first group yesterday in their last scrimmages. They played 3 sets to 15, and I think he might have played one of those sets. Taylor Averill, the transfer from UC Irvine, was the one who was playing that spot. All of a sudden tonight, Charlie Wade, I guess he had a feeling that Timmer was going to be the guy.
And a big block at the net. Jarrod Lofy getting his 6'9" frame up there, coming up with a solo roof.
Here's a guy who's worked so hard for so many years, putting the ball straight down, but nobody works harder than Jarrod Lofy. He's just a workhorse.
Good look at Lofy is Biscaro once again with the serve. Back set, blocked at the net, and once again the roof by Hunt. And he's got 2 solo blocks, and the Hawaii block coming up huge. Timeout called by Kevin Ring, and we're going to keep it here and take in a little bit of the frustration of Ring and the celebration of Hawaii. And Hunt looking strong, their biggest lead of the game, 2011.
Stephen Hunt looking so strong, and that's twice tonight. You know, a player might get lucky and have maybe one per game, or maybe one all night. He's had 2 here in the first set. We haven't even gotten to the 21st point yet. So he's really doing some fine stuff there at the net. He's really disciplined too. He's not over penetrating and catching the cable and causing net violations. He's just having a good aggressive block up there. Very simple. Plus he jumps so well too.
Hawaii looking good out of the gates as we go inside the numbers, courtesy of HMSA.
912 combined kills for the departed Warriors, Umloft and Walker. That's a lot of kills. That's, I think, 75% of their offense, so, or 65. It's a big number. So,
But again, the Tritons of UC San Diego kind of facing that similar challenge and losing a couple of their key components to the season. One guy that I'm looking forward to seeing, and you mentioned very briefly in your comments a moment ago, is Taylor Averill. He's a freshman transfer out of UC Irvine. He's 6 feet 7 inches tall, and he kind of wants to play setter. And boy, what does that do when you have a 6 foot 7 inch guy playing setter? He could always also go out and play opposite. But he could really do a lot when you can set and you can block at 6'7".
Believe it or not, when Shane Welch first went down with his injury, they moved Taylor Averill into the middle because he's played middle as well in high school and club volleyball. So he's very versatile. But when you're a big setter like that, you can intercept a lot of balls that are being overpassed over the net. And if you're tall enough and big enough to get over there, you can get up there and intercept them so you can set them and take a lot of bad passes and turn them into good ones. The second thing is, when you're that big a setter, your dump shots are like straight down rather than a dump in the middle of the court. You can dump it straight down. So he's going to be effective when he comes in if need be.
Talking to Jeff Hall earlier in the week, he said, you know, I don't want to call him a dump shot. I want to call it a jam. He goes, you know, it's a more assertive move. He goes, when they put it down, he goes, I want those guys to really jam that ball down there. He was very emphatic about it. But, you know, we could still use our terminology.
By the way, even though it's 2011 right now, San Diego is way better than this 2011 score right now. They just haven't gotten the flow of things yet, and they're showing their youth a little bit. We talked earlier about the keys to the game is, you know, take some aging pills. So I think they'll probably take some here right between sets 1 and 2, and we'll start playing like that rather than the way they played the first 10 points. They really struggled in a lot of areas the first 10 points.
That was Greg Smith getting his first kill of the match. Smith, a junior out of Golden West College, Fullerton, California, is where he hails from.
You see Garrett Dempsey coming into the game. He's going to be setting there right now. He's a second-team high school All-American, pretty good setter. He's going to be setting, and then in the setter's place up front, where Brunsting would be, they're going to bring in Joel Auerkamp, like 6'7" lefty. So interesting little double sub there that Kevin Ring is pulling right now to try to put up a bigger block up front.
Well, his team trailing 20-12. They've really never been close in this match. Hawaii jumped out to a 4-0 advantage, and it hasn't been much closer than that since the outset of this match. And talking about their rotation and making sure they get all their changes done properly.
There's obviously some lineup issues going on, and I guess they've gotten them straightened out now, and Ring is able to get his double sub in.
Well, Hawaii this year in the 2012 MPSF preseason coaches poll, slated to come in number 9, and Charlie Wade says, I like it. You know, they're giving them that number 9 based not on what they have, but really on what they've lost, because the coaches really didn't know what to judge it on. They just judged it on the loss of Umlauf and Walker. But Charlie Wade saying, that's perfect. I like 9. That's a good spot to be. By the way, UC San Diego 12 out of 12. But truth be told, anybody in this conference on any given night can beat anybody else, and we see it year after year. Back set, dug up nicely by Biscaro. Set it up for Hunt, goes right through the double block for the kill.
Well, I can tell you that having coached in this league the last 2 years, there is no night off. They're all tough. Here's Hunt going up over the block there, or at least maybe he beat the seam there, but that was tough because he had both blockers well formed, 4 hands across, and Hunt hits it so hard though, sometimes he'll just beat it right through the block.
Hunt now with a couple of kills to go with his 2 unassisted blocks.
Hawaii hitting .333 right now. San Diego still hitting negative. More errors than kills. I'm sure that will change though. This is a much better team than that negative number shows.
And serve, a little bit long service error. Point for the Tritons, 21-14. Eberts serving for Hawaii. The big swing of Johann Timmer. Well, the Kiwi from Auckland, New Zealand. He's going to be a fan favorite here. Going into the match, speaking of fan favorites, number 17, Crutch, Troy Crutchfield. In the match, he'll be serving for Hawaii, and that's a guy that you just got to love.
Oh yeah, he is Mr. Leadership. He's Mr. Hustle. He's Mr. Never Say Die.
Back set again and hitting it wide and out is Joel Averkamp. Point Warriors closing in on the first set, 23-14.
Notice a crutch brings a jump float as opposed to the jump serve. Sometimes that can be tougher to handle. And you see a ball that's passed very poorly to the back row.
And a good swing that time by the lefty, 1 of 3, and that once again is Joel Averkamp. Out of Mission Viejo, California. 23-15, back to serve for the Tritons is Greg Smith. And Smith promptly serves it into the net.
And even though San Diego got 10 aces against the Brandon Canada team last Monday, Kevin Ring, the coach, was very upset with how many errors they also made. They made 20 errors. 19 of them came in the last 3 games.
So on set point now, Johann Timmer. Nice overspin on that one. Ball dug up nicely by Timmer. Had an opportunity and then jammed over the net by Von Lennon. And Hawaii looked like they were getting ready to set up a play, and Lennon just kind of jammed that ball right back at him.
It's an excellent block by Lennon. He really reads the hands of Biscaro there and commits, goes up with him. Nice play by Lennon.
24-16. Averkamp back to serve. Hawaii setting it up on the far side. Good swing, dug up in the back row by Eberts. And then that ball hit out. Point Hawaii. First set Hawaii. They take it 25-16. So Charlie Wade with a little wink and a shrug of the eyebrows. Hawaii coming out of the blocks in 2012. 25-16 in the first set. We'll take a break and be back with more.